everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to another 30 over 30 with me, Jasmyn. And we are we're November 6th, right? So we are on problem number 6. Yes, problem number 6. And for those of you who this is your first time joining me, I am going to cover 30 aspiring CRA problems throughout the month of November. So every single day, I'll be going live discussing a new problem, and we're on day 6. So if you missed the first 5 days, don't worry. You can go back and listen to the replay on YouTube, Facebook, and then LinkedIn, of course, is my platform for those of you who know me. And it will stay on LinkedIn, but Facebook, YouTube, it's going to go away. So what's problem number 6, y'all? You don't have a plan. And it sounds simple enough, right? Why would anybody try to do anything without a plan? Or why do I really need a plan if I already know I want to be a CRA, right? But anytime you have a goal, anytime, especially a big goal, something that is a major accomplishment, anytime you want to do anything, really, me specifically, anytime I want to do anything, I have a plan. And sometimes we don't think about the fact that we have a plan, but essentially most of us have a plan or not, even if it's winging it. That's, I guess, for lack of a better term, you know, winging it sometimes is people's plan, but winging it is not really a plan, y'all. And so just to kind of give you, I guess, an analogy to put this into perspective, if you're going to travel across country from the East Coast to the West Coast, and, let's say you're going from New York to California, right? And you're not going to just, I guess, technically you could just get in the car and drive west, right? But there's so many different things that are going to happen along the way that without a plan, a concrete plan, then you're going to run into all sorts of problems, delays, and you may not even ever get there, right? Because you can't drive that long trip just straight driving. You have to make pit stops. You're going to need to stay overnight. You're going to need to find hotels to stay at or friends or what have you. And there's different steps along the journey that needs to take place in order for this to be a successful trip. Let's say that. Can you eventually maybe drag yourself over there and make it? Yeah. But if you want it to be a successful journey, a successful trip, then you have to have a plan. And that's with everything. And so going back to the CRA job search, a lot of people think that winging it specifically is a plan, saying that I'm just going to see what happens, or I'm just going to, throw darts figuratively and see what sticks. They think that applying to everything that they see, so every CRA job that they see, no matter if it's entry level, if it's a CRA 2, if it's senior level, whatever, as long as it says CRA monitor, something along those lines, they're applying for it. They don't try to have any type of strategic approach. They just submit, apply. They don't try to see if their resume matches the job description. They don't try to see if maybe they have someone in their network. They just constantly applying, right? Some people take the approach of, well, I'm just going to wait for my turn. I know my turn will come. I'm a CTA now with a company, or I'm a study coordinator. I've been a study coordinator for years, or CTA for years, and eventually my turn will come. So I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to wait for my turn. Or they pay for a course, a training program, or to work with someone. There's a lot of different training CRA programs out here, and they pay for that. And then they think that they're supposed to work their magic and guarantee them a job. Well, no, y'all, that is not a plan. That is not a plan. And like I said, with everything that we do in life, specifically the CRA job search, since that's what we're talking about, you have to have a plan. And so what does that look like? Well, first, you need to have a vision, back it up with action, and then you'll get your results. That's a plan. So when I say vision, what do I mean? I mean, you need to not only just have goals like I want to be a CRA, but you need to get a bit more specific. You want to be a CRA, yes, but do you know if you want to try to gain expertise or become an expert rather in a particular therapeutic area. Let's say maybe you're already a study coordinator and you specialize in neurology or oncology. So you already know going into monitoring, that is the area that you want to be in. So maybe you might want to strategically target sponsors or drug companies, device companies that work on those types of TAs. Or maybe you know for sure that you want to go into the CRO land, or you're already in the CRA space and you know for sure you like the CRO space. Maybe you currently work for a larger CRO and you want to get the experience with a smaller CRO. So you need to have specific goals, not just goals, but specific goals. Maybe you already know that you not only want to be a CRA, but you want to go into line management afterwards, or you want to be a CTM afterwards. But map it out. And of course, some of you may not know, I didn't exactly have it all mapped out. When I first started, I knew I wanted to be a CRA. I knew I wanted to be an oncology CRA, and I knew I wanted to fast track my career and grow in the industry. And I had no idea that I would be doing this. This was definitely not a part of the plan. So things can definitely, shift and change as you grow, but you want to at least have the next 3 to 5 years planned out in terms of do you see yourself? Where do you see your career growing? And not only that, let me get out of the way, but you want to write your goals down. Don't just have them in your head. When you write them down, when you put them out there in the universe, when you share them with the right people, because we can't share our dreams and goals with everybody, because that negative energy will also block your success sometimes as well. But you want to write them down and keep them visible. I have vision boards. Some people have vision diaries, or they have like a vision notebook, or they I know that I've seen where they have vision parties. And I don't know if you know what Canva is, but essentially it's like a graphic art app, and you can put different little images on like one little digital, let's say, piece of paper. You can save that on your phone and you can just look at it at a certain point throughout the day, because you want to review your goals daily. This is how you make it a part of your reality, and this is how you make it come true. And then it also keeps it on top of mind, so that okay, hey, this is where I want to go. So when times do get tough and you are like, I don't know if I can keep doing this, I want to give up, why am I even trying? I'm never going to get an opportunity. When those days come, because they'll come, they came for me. It's nothing bad. It's not to say that, oh, this isn't for you. It's just human nature. But when those days come and when you have that vision in front of you, then trust me, it keeps you going. It makes it a lot I would say easier. I wasn't going to say easier at first, but it makes it a lot easier. So you need your vision. You need to be specific. You need to know where you're going. You can never reach a destination on purpose, anyways, without knowing where you're going. And your vision helps keep your destination very clear and right in front of you. And then action. You can't just have a dream, a goal, and not back it up with action and think you're going to actually end up with the results, right? So get a mentor, get a coach, get somebody to help you. Don't just do it all on your own and wing it. Like I said before, that's not really a plan, y'all. You need somebody. And when I say get a mentor or coach, but get somebody that has gone and been and done where you're trying to go and be and do. Don't get advice or get help from someone who's never been a CRA and you're trying to become a CRA. If you're at this point in your career now where you're trying to be a CTA or a study coordinator or a clinical research coordinator, whatever the case may be, don't take advice from somebody who's never been a coordinator or a CTA, because how are they supposed to help you get to a destination that they themselves never have gotten? It's not to say that ultimately you won't get there, but thinking about it from a strategic point of view, and the fact that we're talking about specifically that you want to plan, seek out the people that have been there, done that. My mentor told me to never take advice from somebody who's never been where you're trying to go. And I would extend that to you as well. Make sure you're getting the right advice from the right people, and then revamp and tailor your resume and your LinkedIn profile. Every single time that you submit a job application, every single time, and when I say submit, I don't mean just complete the application online and submit, but even if a recruiter requests a resume from you, I always say ask for the job description first. Can I get a copy of the JD so that you can see it and make sure that your resume is in line with what they're looking for? Now, of course, if you're only applying for CRA jobs or coordinator jobs or CTA jobs, if you're only applying for specific jobs, then there's not really much tweaking that you need to do. But sometimes some companies will specifically be looking for some subtle things, some subtle nuances that could give you leverage or a leg up. Let's say they want somebody who specifically was a study coordinator and I don't know, in cardiology for at least 2 or 3 years. And lo and behold, that's you, right? You want to make sure that you then put a lot of that cardiology information inside your resume, inside your cover letter, and weave throughout your LinkedIn profile if it's not already there, which it should be, because LinkedIn gives you a bit more space to work with. Let's say they're looking for somebody who specifically has been a medical assistant or has phlebotomy certification, what have you. That's you. You want to make sure that that's front and center so that they see right off the bat, they don't have to search for it, that you have this specific experience that they're looking for. So that's what I mean when I say tailor. Um, and sometimes, you might need to go through a professional resume writer. I went through a professional resume writer. One of the fallbacks I would say with that is that try to look for somebody who is familiar with the industry. That I did not, and I went through a general service and I still had to go through and revamp and tweak it myself. It was still a great experience, I will say that. But that's one of the things that when it comes to our industry, I can't speak for other people's industries, but that's one thing that it can be challenging when you go through a professional resume service, is that they don't always know how to really relate to our industry and highlight transferable skills. So keep that in mind. When you apply, strategically apply, which I talked about that a little bit already, in that you don't want to just be throwing darts, applying to everything that you see. Have a specific concrete plan. Do you want to work for CROs? Do you want to work for sponsored companies specifically? Do you want to work on site if you're working towards being a study coordinator? Do you want to work at a hospital or for a private practice? Do you want to work for a specific therapeutic area? Do you want to work in early phase or late phase? Have a plan. Practice when it comes to interviewing, when it comes to phone screens, when it comes to anything that will require you to be in front of people and articulate your story and articulate your goals and articulate why they should hire you. You need to practice everything that anybody they're okay. There's probably the one genius, one or two geniuses out there where they don't practice and they just get it off the bat, right? But beyond those three people, everybody else, we need practice. Anybody that you see that you're like, oh my God, I wish I could be like them. They practice, y'all. I say that to all of my mentors and my coaches, like, oh my God, but you're just so great at it. You're so good. And they're always like, Jasmyn, I practice. I didn't just do this overnight. Heather, one of my mentors, she is the best speaker ever. And I'm like, but Heather, you can do this in your sleep. You're just so great. And she's like, yeah, because I've been practicing for decades. So when it comes to interviewing, you have to practice. I practiced all the time. I practice in the mirror. I practice in front of families. I try to get people to help me do mock interviews. I was constantly practicing. And it's not to say that you need to memorize your responses verbatim, but you should have, especially for the behavioral and situational questions, you should have some stories and some options already in mind, because they, generally speaking, they ask questions that are in the same categories. So you should already have some responses in mind and be going over those stories and be able to articulate them in a way that positions you as a product or service that they want to buy. Keeping that in mind. It's all about BMS, right? And then also develop your unique story. Every one of us has a unique story. And it doesn't mean that one story is better than the other. It's just about who's selling their story the best, right? And that goes back to BMS as well, branding, marketing, and selling yourself. And so definitely always lean into your unique story. Don't ever try to be someone else. Don't ever try to tell someone else's story, because your story is what's actually going to help you stand out. It's just a matter of you being able to identify and pull together, piece together what that story is in a way that sells you. And it's hard sometimes from the outside looking in to be able to do so. That's where having a mentor, coach, somebody to help you can come in. But you want to be able to articulate your story. People say have a sales pitch, a 1 to 2 minute little, spiel of you, who you are, what you've done, your past experience, and where you're trying to go, right? And you want to be able to do that over and over again. The only way to be able to do that with ease, just like that, is practice, y'all. So you need vision, you need action to back up that vision, and that will ultimately help you reach your goal and land your dream job of becoming a CRA. But not having a plan is definitely not the way. So, if you want help, if you want to go deeper with this, with me specifically, I am currently accepting new coaching clients and to my one on one 6 month coaching program. And so, you'll get one on one coaching from me, virtual one on one, just like this, but through Zoom for 6 months. You also get lifetime access to the online training portal, which includes all of the training videos, all the templates that you'll need to complete everything. And we walk through it together. You also get access to all of the coaching sessions. You'll have a portal with all of your training videos. You get messaging support so that you have access to me outside of the coaching calls if you need me. And you also get a mock interview with the recruiter to help you with the practice piece that I just talked about. So if you're interested in working with me or just learning more about how to work with me, how the program works, check out aspiringcra.com. And there you'll be able to learn all about the coaching program, and then you'll also be able to book a sales call with me book a sales call with me to learn more and about me and how I can specifically help you. So tomorrow I'll be on day 7 with 30 over 30, but I also have the Q&A, Aspiring CRA Q&A session starting back up tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you haven't already done so, please send me your questions. You can DM me, you can comment on this video, you can comment on the meeting invite for the actual event, and send me your questions. The list is already getting long, y'all. So if you have questions, please send them as soon as possible. And I would be more than happy to answer all of your CRA questions. So thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate you all, and I hope you have a wonderful night.